Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney. Today is episode 65 of the Park Life Podcast, and it's chapter 12 of our series of the history of Walt Disney World. Today, chapter 12 is a celebration of our past with a look to the future. And this will be the last chapter of this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to get your feedback on what your thoughts are on each of the episodes. If there are things that maybe we didn't cover that you'd like to hear about, we can always resurrect this with a second edition, if you will. But today we're going to put a bow on this 12-part series, and we're going to cover what's to come at Walt Disney World in the next 2 to 3, maybe 4 years. And these are all things that are huge announcements that Disney has made. And as we go along in the next weeks to months to year, we'll all hear more and more information about them. And I'm sure as things get more cemented, I'll do future podcasts about these. Let's start with Animal Kingdom. And I'm going to start there because these things are actually the furthest along in the progression of the work being done and have a release year, at least for when the area will open up. I think most of us all know this. We've talked about it. You've probably heard on other podcasts, my podcast, we do our lives, we've talked about it. But Dino Land and Animal Kingdom is essentially closed down now. There's still a few small things left. The dinosaur ride will keep going through the end of this year. A couple of the smaller quick serve restaurants are starting to wrap up. But for all intents and purposes, Dino Land is closed. The Boneyard's closed. The rides that were over there, minus Dinosaur, are closed. All of that is now under construction for what will be the Tropical America's Land. It's actually going to be called Pueblo Esperanza. Get that right? Pueblo Esperanza. And we will be highlighting the tropical Americas through the stories of Encanto and Indiana Jones. Now, I love the fact that Indiana Jones is getting a little bit of attention in pub. I think it's a great movie series. I think there's a great connection there with Animal Kingdom. I'll tell you one thing I don't think they're doing, but I wish they could and should have thought about. The boneyard that was there for Dinoland could have very easily been just converted to more of a Indiana Jones relic find playground. Kids could dig for things, find things. They could still have the slides and the climbing apparatuses that were there with the boneyard. I wish they would have done that, but we'll see what's to come. So again, Pueblo Esperanza is the new land at Animal Kingdom that will take over Dino Land. There will be an Encanto ride featuring the Madrigal family. I think I said this already, but the dinosaur ride, when it closes in January of 2026, will be redone to become an Indiana Jones adventure ride. Now, if you're a left coaster, west coaster, Disneyland person, you know there's an Indiana Jones ride there. Disney has made it very clear that the new Indiana Jones ride, Animal Kingdom, will not be the same as Disneyland. It will have its own uniqueness to it. So, very excited about that. See how much of the ride track that's there now for for the dinosaur ride will remain, or if it's a complete scrap and redo. There's going to be a new carousel ride that will exist in the Pueblo Esperanza area. They're going to have a very large, one of the largest quick serve restaurants in all of Walt Disney World in this new Tropical America's land. There will be a new play area. Like I said, I'd love for it to be an Indiana Jones relic type find place, but there will be a new play area for the littles. And this new addition to Animal Kingdom is slated for a 2027 opening. So here we are, October of 2025. We could be a year and a half away, a year and a quarter away, could be 2 years away. But there's at least a definitive 2027 completion date for the Tropical Americas Pueblo Esperanza in Animal Kingdom. Excited about that. I think everybody would agree Animal Kingdom needs more attractions. One of the biggest marketing struggles Disney faces is the perception that Animal Kingdom is a half-day park. Now, if you go there and you do all of the walking trails and all of the shows and the few rides that are there, and take in all of the beauty of what Animal Kingdom has, it's absolutely a full day park, no doubt about it. But adding two more rides over in the what used to be Dinoland area in the Tropical Americas land, repurposing the dinosaur ride to Indiana Jones will do nothing but help drive Disney's marketing challenge of turning Animal Kingdom into a full day park. Always been a challenge of theirs. This will certainly help. I've said this before, this has nothing to do with expansion of the park, but Pandora, the area there, keep it open later in the evening when it gets dark. You can close off back towards the safari, Africa, and Everest. You can close all of that area down, but keep Pandora open longer so that that beautiful scenery and the luminescence can be seen by all guests. All right, we'll get off my Animal Kingdom soapbox. Let's move on to Hollywood Studios. Now, this new expansion I'm totally excited about, although I'm completely heartbroken that we lost Muppet Vision 3D because that was one of my absolute all-time favorite shows of any in Walt Disney World. But nonetheless, it's come, it's gone, it's not coming back. We've lost Pizza Rizzo, Mama Melrose, that whole area back there, the courtyard, the fountain with Miss Piggy, it's all closed down. It's all being demolished so that they can expand into what was originally called Monsters Inc. land. I think that was really more of a placeholder and probably very affectionately called Monsters Inc. land. But we now know that Disney is going to call that Monstropolis, an ode to the town in the movie Monsters Inc., Monstropolis. And so excited for that. Now, if you haven't seen this, you need to go Google it and look because it's amazing. The first thing and one of the biggest announcements Disney made with any of their expansions was a suspended roller coaster that would simulate the door chase in the movie Monsters Inc. If you think about it, they go into that vault area. I call it a vault, and there were just thousands of doors and all these tracks, and the doors are flowing, and that's where they had the chase with trying to get Boo from Randall and jumping in and out of doors and all that stuff. Amazing, amazing, amazing artistry of this new ride. If you've ever been on a suspended roller coaster ride, you'll know that the track is typically above you. And I've been on probably half a dozen or more suspended track roller coasters. But in all of those cases, where you board, you climb on and sit down and pull the harness over, and then the floor below you drops down, and then you take off. So the ride itself is at track level when you're getting on it. This new ride in Monstropolis at Hollywood Studios, you get on, harness comes down, everybody's secure. The floor does not drop. You rise up to get to track level and you take off from there. It's the imagery of that, it just blows me away. I'm so excited for it. The ride concept itself, I think, is brilliant. Cannot wait to do that ride when the Monstropolis area in Hollywood Studios opens. There will be a new dining experience called Harry Houses, which I'm excited about. I'm sure there'll be plenty of monster flair there. And there's going to be a new theater show. Now, the one thing I don't know is if the theater that Muppets was in, if they're keeping that standing and just renovating the inside, or if it's being demolished completely and building a brand new theater. But there will be a new theater show and it's supposed to be called the Glob Theater Meet Monstropolis, featuring Mike and Sully. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, I know several people have already said they should take the laugh floor over at Magic Kingdom and bring it over and include it. I don't know that I agree with that. If you think about it, there are several experiences where the same movie genre is in different parks. You've got the Little Mermaid show at Hollywood Studios. You've got Little Mermaid ride at Magic Kingdom, as a for instance. You've got I'm sure I could come up with other ones. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head right now. I had a few in my head earlier, but there's those experiences where they're separated. You've got the Indiana Jones soon to be ride at Animal Kingdom and the Indiana Jones stunt show at Hollywood Studios. So it happens. I don't have a problem with the laugh floor staying at the Magic Kingdom and not moving over to Hollywood Studios. I'm okay with that. I might be most excited for the expansion of Hollywood Studios. Similar to my comment about Animal Kingdom needing additional rides and attractions and things to do, Hollywood Studios is borderline getting to that same place as Animal Kingdom. Now, they have more rides than Animal Kingdom does today before these expansions. Don't get me wrong. And they've got some really cool shows. The Frozen Sing Along, the Lion, the Little Mermaid show, the Villain show, Beauty and the Beast. Great shows at Hollywood Studios, probably more so than at Animal Kingdom, but they still need this expansion to give everybody a few more items to do at Hollywood Studios. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that while we lost Muppet Vision 3D at Hollywood Studios, I think we all know this, the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith will be closing down at the conclusion of 2025 and will be rethemed with a Muppets overlay. And I think it's Mayhem Band from Muppets will be the starring attraction in Rock and Roller Coaster, and that is scheduled to open in the summer of 2026. No specific date yet, but at least something for us to look forward to. And that leaves us with our last of the big future expansions happening at Walt Disney World. And I'll pause before I get to the Magic Kingdom stuff. If you really think about what's happening, big expansion at Animal Kingdom, expansion at Hollywood Studios, two expansions that I'll talk about at Magic Kingdom. There is so much huge action happening in the next 2 to 4 years at Walt Disney World that, boy, when you get to 2028, 2029, 2020, 2030, wow, amazing stuff. But here we go. At Magic Kingdom, the first announcement that came out is Cars Land, and it's actually going to be named Piston Peak National Park. If you're not familiar with Magic Kingdom at all, um, what used to be the Rivers of America with the Liberty Bell paddle boat and Tom Sawyer Island, those closed down in the summer of 2025. They're being taken out completely. That whole area will be filled in with dirt and land, and it will become this new Cars Land area, Piston Peak National Park. There will be, in no particular order, a racer rally ride, kind of an off-roading ride that is all cars themed. There will be a visitor lodge and trails to walk through in the area. There will be an attraction that's a family friendly for smaller racers ride in this new Cars Land Piston Peak National Park. It's easier to say Cars Land, I think, than Piston Peak National Park. So probably keep saying that. There's supposed to be a lot of water elements and a lot of shade, many trees that will help provide shade, which is always handy in the parks down in Florida, especially in the summer when it's hot. All again, all in the Rivers of America area, which kind of butts up against Liberty Square and is kind of the entrance into Frontierland in that part of the park. So excited about that. I think when I think about the expansions happening, and you think about a lot of construction that happens at Disney, they put up construction walls and you don't get to see much of the activity. It's going to be impossible not to see them filling in the rivers of America and doing all of that earth movement just to get that area ready to build on. It's going to be pretty fascinating to watch over the next year or so. The last of the expansions, and I would bet if I asked 100 of you, what is your favorite thing coming? It's going to be this one for most of you. And that is the new Villains Land expansion. Now, lots of people for years have been begging for a fifth park that would be villains themed. We're obviously not getting that, but to have a Villains Land at Magic Kingdom, I think is going to be absolutely amazing. This is going to primarily sit back behind Big Thunder Mountain. And in my mind, the way I vision this, if you're walking to the Haunted Mansion ride, I think you're going to almost to the left of it, which used to be a river. There's going to be a walkway there that will take you to the Villains Land area. They have closed down the train right now that runs from the Main Street station around to Frontierland station and then around to Fantasyland because they're doing a lot of work back there. There's going to be land back there that you and I will visit in the years to come that has been trees and wilderness area for quite some time. So looking forward to that. There are going to be two major new attractions in this Villains Land. The first one, and again, details are very limited and sketchy, but it has been rumored at least to be a Maleficent themed roller coaster. Can you imagine that? It's going to be incredible. The second major attraction, the other one they haven't really shared much about. There's to be a second attraction there. There's going to be themed dining, both a quick serve restaurant as well as a sit down dining experience. It's yet to be determined whether that's going to be a character meal. Can you imagine having a character meal with nothing but villains? That would be a hoot for a lot of us, I think. There will obviously be plenty of shops, and I'm sure it will be primarily villain themed items you can buy in those shops, which I think those are going to fly out the shelves. And there is the plan to have music and live performances as well. This is going to be another example of my Monsters Inc. and Laugh Floor being in separate parks. I think the villain show at Hollywood Studios is there to stay while they open up this villains land. I don't see any reason why they can't have villains in both places. I think it works perfectly. And when you think about it, half of or a third of Phantasmic at Hollywood Studios is villains. So having that in the villain show right there, almost at the outside of the entrance to the Phantasmic Theater, I think makes perfectly good sense. And I'm okay with that. I'm all for having those things in multiple places. So, wow, a lot of big things coming in the next 2 to 4 years. There are no announced dates of completion for Hollywood Studios Monstropolis or for Piston Peak National Park or Villains Land in the Magic Kingdom. If I were to speculate, I would say those are best case 2028, most likely 2029 openings. Again, I'm just speculating. We'll know more in the months to come, and I'll share it as soon as I know it. But for now, that is a wrap on chapter 12 of the history of Walt Disney World. Again, this history of Walt Disney World is a nod to the future of what's to come. When you think about it, though, the things that are what's to come in the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, all have a nod to the history, to the yesteryear, to the things that once were. Walt always wanted things to continue to progress and to never be complete. And to this day, that's exactly what Walt Disney World in Florida represents an ongoing expansion and creation of brand new ideas, thoughts, visions that the amazing cast of Walt Disney World come up with. Excited for all of it. Appreciate you coming along with this 12 chapter journey with me. You can catch these on YouTube and Spotify on the Park Life channel on Mondays at 5 a.m. Eastern. We do Park Life Live on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the Park Life YouTube channel or on my TikTok channel, Mike_Disney Travel. Would love for you to join us on our lives. We have a lot of fun playing some games. We'll talk news, rumors, promotions, things like that. Very interactive. Would love to have you join us. If you'd like to work with me on booking a future trip to Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruises, I'd love to work with you and your family. You can reach out to me directly on my TikTok channel, Instagram, on YouTube, or on my Facebook channel. Facebook, you can find me at Mike's Magical World Vacations. Otherwise, if I can help answer a question that will make your trip magical, I'd love to do that for you as well. At the end of the day, for me, my goal is to make sure that you have a great experience. Whether I book it for you or not, if I can help in any way, I'm always happy to do that. But that's wrap for the history of Walt Disney World. Look forward to diving into holiday season coming up now that we're wrapping up October. So we'll be diving into different holiday things at Walt Disney World in the coming weeks. Until then, have a great day. And remember, It is a great day to be alive. Goodbye, everybody.